What is going on, guys? Scarecrow all here to tell you about one of the scariest movies ever, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If the story of this murderous man was true or not, let's find out. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is among the most influential and iconic horror movies of all time, showing the audience a group of teens who are slaughtered when they meet a dangerous family out in Texas, with the main slayer being Leatherface, a mentally ill serial killer who attacks and kills his victims with a chainsaw, who wears masks made of human skin. But was the story behind this serial killer real? Well, yeah and no. Let me explain. The film may not be 100% true, but it is still based around true events, including the hunting home of the cannibalistic family. The movie purposely presented itself as real in an effort to explore political and cultural debates to draw in a larger audience. And it worked. Probably even still works until this day. The inspiration of Leatherface comes from the infamous serial killer Ed Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainfield. Ed Gein's crimes in the 1950s shocked the country as a whole, so let me tell you something about this guy. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning. In La Crosse, Wisconsin on August 27, 1906, Edward Theodore Gein was born. In 1915 at Plainfield, Wisconsin, Ed and his older brother Henry were raised on a farm in a two-parent household, where his mother was deeply religious and his father was an alcoholic. Ed and Henry started working multiple jobs to help support the family after their father died in 1940. One day, while the brothers were burning brush on the property in 1944, a huge fire went out of control, taking Henry's life as a result. But it might have just been Ed's first kill, to have his mom all to himself. Who knows? Gein was a lonely man who never left the house or dated anyone because he was so devoted to his mother. I'm talking about a real bad obsession here. He was crazy, but even more batshit crazy after she died in late 1945. Living alone now, Ed decided to keep her lifeless body in his room with his goal to literally crawl into her skin. He later admitted to the police that his ultimate objective was to make a woman suit that would allow him to become his mother. Creepy, and creepy. Despite his strange ways, somehow Gein was able to support himself as a handyman and a babysitter. Over the course of a few years, a few locals had inexplicably vanished from the area. Among them was Mary Hogan, who owned a taverna that Gein frequently visited in nearby Pine Grove. In December of 1954, the 54-year-old woman vanished from sight. Another woman who was 58 years old named Bernice Wharton was reportedly missing from her Plainfield hardware store on November 16, 1957. Her son was a deputy sheriff by the name of Frank. He had his suspicions about Gein and quickly captured him at a neighbor's house. Wharton's headless and gutted body hung from the ceiling, a truly sickening and horrifying sight for the authorities called to Gein's residence that evening. Her heart was hanging in a plastic bag along with her head, being discovered in a sack. More startling findings from the investigation included jars containing organs, skulls being used as soup bowls, and a belt made of human nipples. He also used the body parts to create masks, clothes, and household items. Yeah, that was creative. Yeah, let's just say creative. But this is notable because remember, Leatherface wears a mask made of human skin as well. Also similar to Gein, Leatherface also exhibits a low IQ and a predilection for disfiguring bodies while dressing mostly in clothing belonging to women. Eventually, Gein confessed to killing Wharton as well as Hogan 3 years ago. He intentionally shot and killed these two women because they resembled his late mother. In 1958, Gein's farmhouse had burned down with the initial speculation that the fire had been set on purpose, though an official cause was never determined. He was declared criminally insane following his arrest, and he lived the remainder of his life in mental institutions. Yeah, the director for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper, sure chose the perfect psycho for inspiration. My oh my, now that is something to know. Nothing better than knowing one of your favorite horror movies has some truth to it. So guys, please be safe out there and keep your head on a swivel, because you'll never know if you're walking by any Ed Geins. I mean, damn, what a story for the day. And see, the movie is technically true. True enough if you ask me. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want some more.